It's been a tough week again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Just when you think it's bad, then it can get worse. And it's been a tough week to hold to our spiritual path. To hold to the principles that we know work in our lives. And I'm telling you, all the master teachers currently active out there teaching oneness consciousness are saying the same thing. We are at a tipping point in the evolution of humanity. The possible purpose at this time could be to restore harmony and balance. It could be. If you're willing to look at that, to look at this unrest as a tipping point to go one way, separation, division, or destruction, or to go to oneness and harmony with all that there is. Is it just me, or is anyone out there re-evaluating or has re-evaluated what's really important in your life in these last almost 6 months of this coronavirus?
Yes.
It is making us look more deeply at what is important in our lives and how many things we thought were important aren't. So many of you, I hear, along with myself, are letting go of material stuff in their homes. You know, I talked with Sandy Malloy over these past few months. She's created an upstairs of her house that was still all from her adult children who have moved out. All their stuff was still there. She's completely cleared it out and made herself a home office and a respite place. How many others have done that? Yes, yay, what an example. I listen to all of you, talking to you. I hear so many. Doug Kemper's another one. She continues to tell me, I'm making another trip to Salvation Army or Goodwill or whatever. I'm like, how do you have any more left? She's continually, are you finding yourselves in this same boat? And how does it feel when you let go of this stuff? There's a expansion feeling, isn't there? Oh my gosh, it's just like, why did I keep that all these years? Something, maybe it is that we're being forced to spend more time with ourselves. Did you ever think of it that way?
Yeah.
We're being forced to spend time with ourselves. For many of us, we're being forced to spend more time with our significant others, or our children in the house, or our grandchildren in the house. And we're finding opportunities to grow or not. You get to choose. For me, what I've noticed is I'm seeing, honestly, I really can say this, I am seeing the world more through not my two physical eyes, but through more of my single eye. You know, the great, there's one of the Hindu treaties is, thou cannot behold me with thy two outer eyes. I have given thee an eye divine. Thou cannot behold, I'm going to say for unity, behold God, oneness consciousness. You cannot behold that with your two physical eyes. I have given you a divine single eye possible purpose of this time could be to restore harmony and balance to our world and to our lives, to ourselves. Many of you will agree that we need to restore balance to nature, right?
Right.
I know that you all agree that you know our planet needs nurturing. Are you willing to own that you need nurturing? And this time period in our lives is an opportunity to really look at how can you restore more balance in your life. You know, Unity magazine that I subscribe to, in this latest magazine issue, is an article by Panache Desai. Now, you may recognize that name, you may not, but I'm going to say at least 10 years ago, before Panache really became world famous, he was here at Garden Park. We were so blessed with his new approach to spirituality, and many of us were not ready to hear what he had to say. But he's now on the world circuit. But there is an article in there that I'm gonna talk to you from. So a lot of this is Panache Desai's words. He says we're looking for love on a planet of people who don't love themselves. Think about that. We're looking for love on a planet of people who don't love themselves. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you've been coming to a Unity church for any length of time, I know for sure you're working on loving yourself more and more. But let's take out of this circle here and go further out in your circle of family, friends, work colleagues, and we keep looking at them to show up in love, but yet they don't have a concept about loving themselves. He says we're looking for acceptance and approval in people who don't accept and approve themselves. Are you starting to get what he's doing here? We're looking for acceptance and approval in people who don't accept or approve themselves. We're looking to others for things they don't have the capacity to give us. Take that one in. We're looking out there to others for things they don't have the capacity to give us. I'm looking at a teacher right now. I'm looking at someone back there in the barn who I know is struggling. And many of you teachers out there, but you're struggling with work, and you're trying to get cooperation from people who it's not in their repertoire. It's not in their, and we keep looking. You know, I always say to myself, I keep putting my head against a brick wall until my head is so bloody, and that's usually what it takes for me to say, oh, they're not going to do what I need them to do, after I'm blood running down my forehead. Okay, I want you to take this in, and I'm going to repeat it twice. He says, we've forgotten that we're only ever interacting with ourselves, and that all of this world is nothing more than a manifestation of our own state of consciousness. Oh, no, not me. No, 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 no. My state of consciousness is higher. Well, I'm going to tell you to go a little deeper and really do some introspection, because this really is a unity truth statement. It's said more in modern language than Fillmore would have quoted. I would have quoted him. We've forgotten that we're only ever interacting with ourselves, and that all of this world is nothing more than a manifestation of our own state of consciousness. This is principle number 3 in unity. That we think about, we bring about. You know, what is it that like attracts like? What you're putting out there is what you bring to you. This is part of what mirror theory is called, projection theory. Whatever is coming at you is a part of you. But this takes a lot of being willing to own up to that. Now, we can either go through life hoo-hum, complaining about the virus, complaining about the news, complaining about the boss, complaining about virtual school. You fill in the blank. You can go through life complaining about blank. As long as we feel victim to it or to them, we perpetuate our suffering. We perpetuate our suffering. Yes. Or we can start to unwind everything inside of us that makes us feel like we're not enough. Oh, unwind the parts of yourself that make you feel like you're not enough. We can choose to get back on the stairway to heaven consciousness. What is the stairway to heaven consciousness? I'm going to just explain that in case that you're like, what? What does that mean? I'm here to remind you, heaven and hell, unity sees those as not places that we're going to go to when we transition. We see them present day, present moment, states of consciousness. And at every moment, you get to choose whether you want to be in heaven or hell. Anybody experience some hell this week?
Yeah.
I'm included. The news got me. The news got me. Pain in my back as I'm going through physical therapy. It got me. I started thinking I'm going backwards. Oh man, go down the rabbit hole, right? We all do that. But to catch ourselves, because we're getting off the stairway to heaven consciousness. Heaven consciousness is exactly about so many of the stories in the Bible. I mentioned it last week about Moses. Moses couldn't have a conversation with God until he went up. He was always being called up because down there with the Israelites was hell. They were always complaining. They were not happy. They wanted to have false idols. So he had to go up in order to get thinking rightly again. I love that. Thinking rightly. How do we start getting back on the stairway to heaven consciousness? Number 1 is by realizing and remembering that you were created in the image and likeness of God. You are a spark of the divine. Own that. You are a spark of the divine. You cannot be anything else but perfect. You are a divine creation. How does that feel when you're hearing me tell you that? You are a divine creation. Nobody taught me this as a kid. And for many of us, we learned just the opposite, didn't we? That you had to do this and this and this and this in order to be one with God. No. No. Those were man-made. They were made up by man. You came to this earth with a heaven consciousness. Any of you, look at a newborn baby. They're in heaven consciousness. Oh, I saw Joe Higgins shared a baby Facebook post of all these little babies taking baths. You know, in the kitchen sink, how we do that, right? You put them in their little seat, and you got them in the kitchen sink, and you're squirting water at them, right? And the faces on these babies, heaven consciousness. One was falling asleep as it was being sprayed. It was just, we keep forgetting. That's how we came into this world. But we keep forgetting. Oh, I gotta breathe a minute. Oh, I love it. I love when I get so ramped up with myself here that I have to do that. So number one, right? All right, by realizing and remembering you were created in the image and likeness of God. That's how you start to get back on the stairway of heaven. This is my take. These are my numbers, not panache, so don't look for that in the magazine. Number two, don't give so much attention to your day with your two physical eyes. Go within to see from your single spiritual eye. When you are caught up, and I understand, this phone that I have can be very addictive. Especially on Sunday mornings, I wake up, I do my meditation, and then I go check the news because I don't want to come here and speak to you and be oblivious of something that may have happened overnight. The next thing, now, that can take a matter of 5 minutes. But no, the next thing I know, it's 20 minutes later because now I've dug a little deeper and I want to read a little more. And oh, there's another read more. I can find out more. This need to know more. And what am I doing? I'm looking at the world with my two physical eyes instead of staying in that meditative state. And it's okay to look at the news, but I'm telling you, 5 minutes is enough. You can grab the headlines, but when you go deeper and deeper, it starts to suck your energy. Or am I the only one that has this issue?
No.
I think it's all of us. And I can get that way with Facebook. Like, I gotta know what's going on in everybody's life. And my daughter says it all the time. You know, nobody posts their negative stuff on Facebook. They all look like these wonderful lives. I do the same thing. Right? I only post something when I'm doing something fun. It's not reality, people. Reality is your spirit. We are not of this world. We are in this world, but we are not of this world. I came across, it came into my mind about this Stairway to Heaven consciousness, and the Bible story came to mind. Did anybody remember Jacob's ladder? Right? Jacob's ladder. If you're not familiar with it, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, Jacob is he has this dream, And in this dream appears this ladder. And the ladder is going up to the heavens. And there's angels going up and down the ladder, right? Okay, let me tell you what was going on with Jacob and why this even took place. Jacob was not such a very nice person. Matter of fact, he kind of had a lot of evil deeds, evil doings that was going on. He was very jealous of his older brother Esau. And I don't know the beginning part of why Esau was hungry, but he was starving. And Jacob connived him by giving him a bowl of soup to give him his birthright. Now, he gets even more in the works that he's doing. So now he takes that birthright, and his father is blind, and it's Isaac, and he's not totally blind, but close to being totally blind. So he goes to his father and disguises his voice and that he's Esau, and that he gets the birthright and the inheritance. So he basically swindled his brother's birthright on a bowl of soup. The drama continues. So it's too long to tell you, but the important part of this story is eventually Esau, the brother who he swindled the birthright from, becomes aware of all this, and now he's basically out to kill his brother. He's going to find him. So Jacob is now on the run because he knows there's what do you call that? Kind of what the governor of Michigan just went through. A hit on them, right? So he's got a hit out for his brother. And so he's hiding out, and he falls asleep on the road, on the side of the road. He's laying on the road, and there's only a rock for his pillow to lay his head, is a rock. And then he has this dream. Okay, what the heck has this got to do? Basically, he hit bottom, right? Anytime you're laying on the road in the Bible, you've hit bottom. Okay? And he's got a rock, laying on a rock. And he has this dream. And he has this dream where the ladder appears. How many of us have to hit bottom in order for us to come to realize there is a stairway to heaven consciousness? But we got off of it. Jacob got off of it. He lost his connection with God. How many of us have felt that way at times in our lives? So number 2 is don't give so much attention to your 2 physical eyes. Jacob was giving total attention to his 2 physical eyes, and he wanted the inheritance that his brother was supposed to get. And then the story goes on, because he keeps seeing with his 2 physical eyes. But when he lays down and hits bottom and has the dream, he's going back to the oneness consciousness. Number 3, the stairway to heaven consciousness is yours. It always has been. But it takes courage to get on the stairway, or to even stay on the stairway. It takes courage to get on the spiritual path, and it takes commitment to doing the work. What am I talking about there? Commitment to doing the work. The work is meditate, to pray, to do gratitude journals, to stay in the stream of love as much as possible. but it takes courage. This spiritual work is not easy. Jesus' path was not easy. Any of our spiritual masters and teachers that have gone or are here present day, to talk to them, their journey has not been easy. Most of them have been knocked down and knocked down and knocked down until finally they really got it, that the ladder was always there, the staircase was always there. But it takes work to stay on it. I can't emphasize enough about going to unity.org website. There are tools to help you stay on the stairway to heaven consciousness. And I hope I've not been too short in explaining heaven consciousness. You know, I don't know where we're going when we transition. I've told you many times, I've asked my mother when she transitioned, right before she transitioned, please, Mom, come back and tell me what happens, right? I don't know. But to me, these teachings make sense to me. I just can't believe in a creator that would doom me to a physical hell or a physical heaven. I believe where most of us are missing the boat, that it's all right here in front of us. Right here in front of us. But it takes work, and it takes commitment, and it takes courage. I'm going to read you these 3 things that I, Reverend Kathy, feels will help you to get on or stay on the stairway to heaven consciousness. So again, number 1, by realizing you were created in the image and likeness of God. As we started this talk today, to remember you are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Number 2 is don't give so much attention to these 2 eyes, your physical eyes. Give more attention to the single eye, the oneness, consciousness. And number 3 is the stairway to heaven consciousness is yours. It always has been, and you do it by it takes courage, and it takes commitment to meditate, to pray, to gratitude journals, staying in the stream of love as much as possible. Staying in the stream of love as much as possible. You know, I think I forgot to give us our personal affirmation today. Did I?
Yeah.
I want to give that to you because I think it's an important one for us to live by this week. So if you have it with you, and I believe they'll get it up on our Facebook page as well, and it'll be on our website, but I'll read it and then I'll read it out loud and then we'll read it together 3 times. Today I relax and trust God to guide, to protect, and to prosper me wherever I go. Ready? Today I relax and trust God to guide, to protect, and to prosper me wherever I go. Let's say it again. Today I relax and trust God to guide, to protect, and to prosper me wherever I go. 3rd time, take it into your solar plexus. Today I relax and trust God to guide, to protect, and to prosper me wherever I go. Someone shared this a statement, or I don't even know. It's just a good read, and I felt it was a good way to close this out today. But I want to just say to you, I'm not Pollyannish to what is going on in our world. So many times people will say to Unity people, you guys are all that positive thinking, you aren't looking at the real world, you aren't looking at what's really happening. Yes, we are, but we don't own it, and we don't buy into the fear. And that's why you keep coming, and why I kept coming for at that time it was 22 years, and then became the spiritual leader. Every talk I give you is talking to myself. I have to hear this over and over and over in order to stay on this stairway to heaven consciousness. This is not an easy path, but it's an amazing path, isn't it? I know, I'm looking out here at our drive-in church and lawn chair church, and I know every one of you just about have said to me, my life is so different since I found and heard these Unity teachings. My life is so different. So even if it's hard, it's worth it, isn't it?
Yes.
It is so worth it. Yes. Let's do it. Yes. Yes. To our Facebook Live audience. So I'm going to close with this statement that was shared, and it was actually shared by one of our congregants, Kim Smith. As the world fights to figure everything out, I'll be holding doors for strangers, letting people cut in front of me in traffic, saying good morning, keeping babies entertained in the grocery line. I'll stop to talk to someone who is lonely. I'm going to continue being patient with the grocery store clerk and sales clerks of any kind, smiling at people who pass by me in the stores or on the sidewalk or in the park where you walk. Why will I continue doing that? Because I will not stand idly by and live in a world where love is invisible. Join me in showing kindness, understanding, and judging less. Be kind to a stranger. Give grace to friends who are having a bad day. Be forgiving of yourself today and every day. And I'm going to put myself out there and add another line. No matter where you stand on the political arena, give grace to a neighbor or a yard that has a particular candidate's sign in it. I don't care what candidate it is. Catch yourself making a judgment as you drive down your roads. That is not what Unity teaches. And it's easy to go there, isn't it? Be kind to everyone. Give grace to friends who are having a bad day. Be forgiving of yourself today and every day. Be the change. Be the light. Start today and never, never stop. Never, ever stop. And with that, I say namaste. Namaste to each and every one of you, which means that the Christ presence in me sees and honors that Christ presence in each and every one of you. Namaste.
Yeah.